Light bearers, what's up, family? Welcome back to Mount Fitness MBS Ministries, where I am your host, Brother Minister Mongoose. Please be advised, if you're new to the channel, that this ministry is founded on philosophical counseling, ISSA certified fitness training, and clean-hearted spiritual teachings and practices. So it is an evangelical, holistic ministry that is designed to help nourish and strengthen you in all aspects of you: the mentality, the physicality, and the spirituality. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we move forward with today's topic. But again, welcome to the channel, and we're going to be talking about 3 different phases that those of us who bear the light, who are carriers of the light, that we all must encounter. Well, actually 2 different areas and one very vital component that's, can provide us with the tools to help us navigate this thing a little bit more efficiently and a little bit more effectively, of course, under His will and His plan for our lives. You clicked on the video, so you know that the 2 seasons that I'm referencing is the season of isolation and the wilderness season. These are seasons that we all must encounter, that we all must go through, that we all must master. And a pivotal element, a pivotal aspect that only He can provide us with, that we can use to be more effective, more prolific, if you will, in terms of navigating the terrain of these seasons. That component is good old-fashioned fellowship. Good old-fashioned fellowship. There's a reason why Christ had His 12 disciples. There's a reason why the good book says where 2 or more is gathered in His name, then He will be in the midst of them. So fellowship is important, guys. This is why we have prayer warriors. And this is why when we're praying for something, it's important that we agree with one another in the spirit. It adds even that much more power, that much more effectiveness. So wherever you're going through, particularly as it relates to these specific seasons, the season of isolation and the wilderness season, if there's anybody that you have in your life that is truly there for you, not just superficially, not just in a politically correct way, but heart to heart, soul to soul, fellowship, then make the most of that, embrace that, and make sure that you are reciprocating that love, that encouragement, that shoulder to cry on. Make sure that you're reciprocating that back, because as we see the very fabric of humanity continue to unravel, we become more and more aware of the fact that good old-fashioned fellowship is few and far in between. You may have your parents, you may have your children, you may have your loved ones, your spouses, your friends, and all these people in your lives, and you can sense that they're there for you. Like, they're not going to let you go homeless, They're not going to let, a mob of people just jump on you and beat you up. They're going to give you a ride if you need it. They're going to give you a pat on the back. They're going to give you these things, but you're also able to discern that these things oftentimes in and of themselves are just empty deeds. Like people are doing this because, they feel, morally obligated. They feel because of the connection or the relationship that they should do these things. And when people provide those things to you or me, obviously we're grateful genuinely for those things. We appreciate those things. But as light bearers, we also have the divine discernment to be able to know that we're grateful for these things, but they're not doing these things from a space of love. And that's oftentimes because most people don't have that love. The good book says that the love of many will wax cold. And so when you're going through whatever it is that you're going through, if you have someone, or there's someone that you could reach out to for fellowship, if there's someone that needs you for fellowship, someone that reaches out to you and you know they are a good person and they need that genuine, key word, that genuine fellowship that's more than just surface level deep, then it's your job, it's your duty to provide that to him, just as much as it is your job and your duty to reach out for fellowship. In accordance with the good book, that where two or more is there. Doesn't mean that he doesn't hear your prayers, but it means that when you join with somebody with the same heart, the same accord, the same cleanliness, he's in the midst of you guys. And as we, again, continue to see society devolve and push further and further away from this thing that we refer to as God, we understand the need for fellowship. We understand the importance, the significance, the relevance of it. Because unfortunately, things are going to get worse before they get worse. You see it wherever you go. And depending on how long you've been walking this path of awakening, you can see that mankind is continuing to almost deliberately, almost to intentionally take steps that are outside of any realm of practicality, any notion of common sense, any notion or any inkling of wisdom. These things are so blatantly opposed to them. You got people pushing, there's this movement in this country to legalize pedophilia. To say that kids have the right to sleep with an adult and the adult with the child if the child gives their consent. You got people that saying children should be old enough, preteen even, they should be old enough to decide that in their mind, even though they are biologically a male, in their mind, they believe they should be a female. And based on that, they have the right, regardless of what their parents think, they have the right, the legal right to receive that surgery to have a sex change. So if that isn't the true definition of madness, then I don't know what is. We got all kinds of, you don't need me to lay it out for you guys, all kinds of mass hysteria where, again, you don't need to be a Cambridge grad virologist to see that this spiritual disease has engulfed the overwhelming majority of society. And for those that it has engulfed, it seems to be pushing them to even greater and greater depths and expression of narcissism, ego-driven conduct, And so again, unfortunately, things will get worse before they get worse. So the need for fellowship is a real need. And of course, we have to be discerning. We have to stay prayed up. And we have to lean on one another as bearers of the light. Now, this video, this message was born out of a video that I just watched about a guy who was we'll say, what we call ourselves, so-called black people. But this was a black guy, and he just very briefly was stating that, he's finished going to public gyms. He was an older guy, middle-aged guy, and he's been going to the gym for a while, and that used to be like his place of respite. That used to be his place to where he can go and get away from the madness and focus on his self-development and use the fact that he was working on his physical vessel as a way for him to feel better about himself internally. And it just was a place, that he could go for him, relieve stress and all these different things. But now when he go into the gym, he noticed that the entire gym culture has changed, and it has. And he said that it definitely is, the microcosm of the macrocosm. And so everything that has all of these sorrows, all of these sadness, all these narcissistic tendencies has infiltrated the gym. And so it's no longer a place where he can go to get away from it all. And the truth be told, these same type of dark-hearted ways of living has also infested and infiltrated all branches of religion, all ethnic groups, all belief systems in terms of political views, in terms of world views, just across the board. Like, there's no group of people, there's no sect or organization, there's no religion that has not been overrun by this dark energy. And so the brother was basically saying that he's not going to the gym anymore, and he's going to do what he can to work out from home. Now, I'm going to have to research the video because I ended up clicking off of it before I captured the actual YouTube channel, because I'm definitely going to message the brother. It's just that now I have to go back in and toy with the way that I type in the name of the video and try and find it. But if I find the channel, I'm definitely going to send the brother a word of encouragement, because he made the note that everything that this world has birth in terms of lust, in terms of greed, arrogance, foolishness, deception, all of the things that we know as light bearers are just low energy vibrations. Those things are in the gym, and the gym is no longer a safe haven for him. He doesn't feel, relaxed. He doesn't even feel safe. And this is segregative of today's message, which it is this season, this time of isolation that we're all being called into. This brother, and I agree with him 100%, said that, it's just not worth it. Like, he, at one point, was feeling like he had to carry his weapon to the gym with him because of racism, because of the guys with egos who they're not there to really work out. They're just there to show off and compete against the next guy. And if you aren't in that circle of showing off, showing what you can do, and whatever, or stroking this guy's ego, then these people want to become aggressive and disrespectful towards you. These are the same things that is happening in collective society all across the board, not just the gym. And so this season of isolation is something that we need to embrace. I did a couple videos that's titled Spiritual Judgment Day. And then I did another video that I just recently posted earlier today that's titled You Get What You Go For. Those videos, as well as the message in this video, are walking hand in hand. It's my humble opinion that Spiritual Judgment Day has already taken place. Now, if you're familiar, if you are in an environment, a situation, circumstances, where you're traveling or whatever it is, if you are in a environment where you're seeing that, people are walking away from the darkness into the light, like they're becoming less and less narcissistic, less and less evil, less and less egotistical. If you are seeing that, then leave me a comment. Because I don't see it. I see people and society at large becoming more and more committed to ignorance. Whether it's the trifling way that some of the women carry themselves, whether it's the degrading, sad, pathetic way that most or a lot of men have wives and children, but they're, in the closet in terms of their homosexuality. If it's some of the things that I mentioned, like, kids should be able to have a sex change at the age of 9, and the push to legalize pedophilia. I see society becoming more and more clear in terms of you're either on the team of the kingdom of darkness or you're on the team of the kingdom of light. And those of us who are on the team of the kingdom of light, we need to embrace this isolation. It's not anti-social, it's anti-stupid. And so we got to get over ourselves. We got to get over these notions that, if we just pray and if we just love and if we just encourage, hey, the die has been cast. These people don't want love. They want greed. They want lust. They don't want good manners. They want money. And so in order for us to protect ourselves, in order for us to be what we need to be as it relates to our continued progression in this thing that we call God, some of that game planning requires that we embrace this season of isolation, this season of what one could refer to as being antisocial, this season of what one could refer to as a hermit lifestyle. Because again, in the message that I posted earlier today, you get what you go for. I'm not going to go for fake people in my life. I'm not going to go for people disrespecting me. Yes, I need to rise above it and sidestep it, but not at the point to where, I'm going to allow someone to cross the uncrossable line. And if I need to put myself in a season or embrace this season that he has and is calling us all to of isolation, in order for me to make sure that my conflict avoidance skills are operating at a premium, then so be it. That's what I need to do. I need to embrace this season of isolation. I need to not go to that place. I need to turn down the invitation to join this outing, this whatever it may be. If I know up front that the energy there is corrupt, the psychic and spiritual environment is polluted and contaminated, then I need to embrace this season of isolation. And sometimes he has given us the free will to impose isolation in our own lives, because we realize that that person, those people mean us no good. And we may have to deal with these people in the household, in the workplace, or whatever. But that doesn't mean we should be engaging these people beyond the necessary needs and requirements as it relates to, whether it's work or, just being around them, in the gym or wherever the place may be. So we have to embrace these truths, man, and embrace this season of isolation, man. The wheats have been separated from the tares. And the good book says, what association does light have with darkness? So this season of isolation is a real thing. And the wilderness season is a real thing. This is a season where pretty much everyone that you know walks out of your life. This is a season where the beliefs, the things that you once held dear, loses their value and their significance because they don't line up to your walk with this thing that we call God. Your reputation gets, it takes hits. Everything kind of takes hits and leaves you in a wilderness season, to where all that you have is this thing that we call God. Your spiritual principles, your spiritual integrity, your faith, your love, your confidence, your wisdom, because everything else will be turned upside down and downside up. So we have to embrace this wilderness as well, guys. We can't continue to ignore these things. We can't continue to try to fit into these things. We can't continue to turn a blind eye to these things. When you go out there and you know that that's a toxic, polluted environment, when you engage with these people and you know that it's an unclean energy, you can't continue to ignore that. You need to embrace that and know that it's all a part of his plan. Now, ultimately, key word, ultimately, things do get better, but it's going to get worse before it gets worse. And these are all signs and times of what we call the end times. Pardon me. No one cares about true respect. No one cares about true love, or someone does care about that thing, and there's a night and day difference between them and those who don't. Things like, human, bloodlines and, marriage licenses and, 20, 30-year relationships and friendship. Those things don't amount to a hill of bean. I got a little gnat or something flying around, guys. So those things don't amount to a hill of beans nowadays that this apocalypse has taken place. We're forced to realize that there's either light or there's darkness. They do not coexist, and they supersede your relationships. They supersede your marriage. They supersede your bloodline. It's either light or it's darkness. And again, what association does the light have with the darkness. So we got to embrace these seasons, man, and not, not ignore these things. We have to have that fellowship. We have to seek for that fellowship. Now, sometimes he puts us in situations and circumstances where there is no fellowship, but that's all a test of our faith as well. And it's all a test of our endurance in terms of how much do we really believe? What are we willing to go through in order to and still stay true to this race that he has set before us, individually and collectively? But if there's any room, if there's any way or any means that he has given you the option or the opportunity to have fellowship, embrace that fellowship and strengthen one another. Because your trials may not be my trials may not be your trials, but as light bearers, we still face these same seasons and different variants of the same challenges. So, fellowship, again, it's a key theme. And don't be afraid to reach out for help. Don't be afraid to help others. Don't be afraid to pray about if whether or not you should reach out to this person or that person. Don't be afraid to pray and ask for insight and information, or maybe through fellowship, get some second opinions, if you will, about if whether or not you should pray for this person or help that person or embrace this person or not. You see? So that's my message for you guys today, man. Be as positive as you can. Be as constructive as you can. And not from a denial standpoint. I'm not promoting that you walk around here and be positive and rainbows and unicorns and, all Pollyannic. Embrace the truth that the world is right side, left side, right. Back side, front side, back. The world is twisted. But if you can find some positivity in terms of fellowship, watching videos like this, helping someone else that you know genuinely wants and needs to be helped, and that's going to evaluate and that's going to appreciate that and value that, prayer, meditation, time alone, getting in a nice, comfortable confines of your own home, and embracing some of the clean-hearted spiritual teachings that this ministry and other ministries and your own God-given intuition may lead you into embracing. Whether it's water therapy, massage therapy, aromatherapy, acts of random kindness, acts of forgiveness, acts of self-love, all these different things. Do what you can do to remain positive without becoming phony and fraudulent, trying to fit in or trying to force a relationship or a place on the job to work when the expiration date has already been made clear to you. Embrace that season of isolation where it's just you, maybe a handful of other people, or maybe just you by yourself. Christ was in the wilderness by himself. Daniel was in the lion's den by himself. Embrace that season of isolation. And if it means that, hey, you don't go to the church functions because you see that the dysfunctionality has infiltrated even that. You don't go to the family or the work site function. You don't do some of the things that maybe you would want to do, but you realize that the energy and the people there are dysfunctional in that environment. So you have to, sometimes it's self-imposed isolation. And embrace that wilderness season as well, to where you look into the mirror and everything that you once held dear, or the overwhelming majority of the things, the people, the beliefs, the places you used to go, those things have little to no significance in your life because they don't line up with the new evolved you. Embrace that wilderness season. But these are some things that we must face. These are some things that we must embrace. And that's my message to you guys today. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Remember that all of the services that can be provided to you guys, that this ministry offered, all of these services can be provided to you right here online. Again, it's an evangelical ministry, so I go through all across the United States. So if you're interested in the possibility of recruiting me to come to your city, your state, your neighborhood, if you have interest in the services, follow-up statements, whatever, you can send me an email at realdealmunoz@gmail.com. Please also visit the physical fitness branch of the ministry located at mountfitnessmbs.com. And if this ministry was edifying to you and the Holy Spirit moves you to give back to this ministry, there's several ways that you can do so. Some of the most upfront, right-away things that you can do is to accept my humble invitation to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already subscribed, and to hit that like button and the share button. When you hit the like button, you help grow this ministry by way of the YouTube algorithm, so you make these services available to even more people. And every time that you press that share button, you plant a personal seed for yourself, because he said that he is a helper to those who are a helper of others. So you help spreading this message, you're paying it forward, you're being a positive influence to someone, and that means there's someone that's going to be there to be a positive influence to you. So please hit the like, hit the share, and if you'd like to receive a notification every time I upload a new message, then hit the bell icon, and again, definitely subscribe, please. I think I mentioned the physical fitness branch of the ministry at mountfitnessmbs.com, and if this Holy Spirit moves you to give back by way of a financial donation, then please go to my Cash App at $EASTBOOGIEPAYDAY. Additional ways for you to support the ministry are titled or posted in a video titled Ministry Support Options. That's what I got for you guys. Hey, be encouraged, be uplifted, man, and know that the isolation season is a real thing. If you don't fit in, it's not meant for you to fit in. It's meant for you to now accept that and stop trying to fit in. Square peg, round hole. Embrace that and do what you need to do to keep focusing on him and running the race that he has set before you. That may mean an isolation period where, hey, it's just you. It's just you. And at the end of the day, as long as he is with you, it's never just you. We all understand that. Also embrace the wilderness season that I talk about, and seek good old-fashioned, clean-hearted fellowship. That's what I got for you guys. I appreciate all of the love and all of the support. I am Minister Mongoose, and I do release into your life an abundance of love, peace, power, and prosperity. And as always, I encourage you guys to be smart, be sharp, be strong, and be safe. Be happy, be healthy, be humble, and always be courageous. And always remember that one path in life leads to destruction and oblivion. The alternative path leads to fulfillment, abundance, and salvation. And in your hand lies the choice between those two paths. That's what I got for you guys. I love you all. I will see you in the next one. I am Brother Minister Mongoose, and I will holler back. Peace.